In April 2026, OpenAI published a 13-page document titled Industrial Policy for the Intelligence Age. It presents a complete macroeconomic and regulatory architecture, representing a significant departure from the scope of a standard corporate manifesto. This is a detailed request from CEO Sam Altman and his $852 billion company for the United States government to step in and engineer a massive systemic economic intervention. The document is built entirely on a single technological premise. Artificial intelligence is advancing at a rate that breaks our historical models of human output. Look at how this chart projects AI capability. Frontier systems have already moved from handling tasks that take a human minutes to complete to tasks that take hours. The next projected jump is to systems capable of autonomously executing complete, complex projects that currently take people entire months. As the model scales to that multi-month autonomous level, the lines diverge. Total economic productivity continues to rise vertically, while the human labor hours required to generate that output drop towards zero. That divergence destroys the core mechanic of the modern economy. If human labor isn't the primary engine of production, the traditional method of distributing wealth through hourly wages and salaries ceases to function. To prevent a complete collapse of living standards for displaced workers, the blueprint argues the state must construct a massive industrial policy to manage this decoupled productivity. We can see this proposed policy split into two distinct halves on this architectural map. The left side, labeled the open economy, focuses on radical tax restructuring and the direct redistribution of AI-generated wealth. The right side, labeled the resilient society, outlines a system of strict hardware-level oversight, global containment protocols for rogue models, and real-time auditing regimes. This document details a total replacement of modern macroeconomic and regulatory systems, moving beyond simple guardrails. Right now, safety nets rely on human employment. As AI takes over, the labor wage pipeline shrinks while corporate profits expand. Policymakers must shift the tax burden to capital gains. This capital routes into a public wealth fund, paying sovereign dividends to all citizens. These mechanisms collectively shift the burden of societal funding from taxing human effort to taxing automated machine output. While that architecture is being built, the immediate transition requires a different tool: adaptive safety nets that activate automatically without waiting for legislative approvals. This dashboard illustrates how it would work. The system tracks real-time metrics like regional unemployment spikes or industry-specific job displacement. The moment the data crosses a predefined threshold, the system triggers fast cash assistance and expanded benefits. Rather than forcing displaced workers to navigate a reactive unemployment process months after losing income, the capital deployment is mathematically tied to the disruption. For those who remain employed, the blueprint proposes an efficiency dividend. As AI lowers operating costs and handles routine workloads, companies are incentivized to permanently shift to a 32-hour, 4-day workweek, holding output constant with zero loss in worker pay. But executing all of this requires physical power. Running models capable of superintelligence demands an immediate, massive expansion of high-voltage interstate energy infrastructure. Building that grid requires public-private partnerships. The financing must ensure AI developers absorb capital costs, so everyday households aren't subsidizing supercomputing through utility bills.
The economy must simultaneously engineer rapid worker protection while aggressively building the physical infrastructure that powers the disruption. Transitioning from economic policy to systemic resilience requires addressing the risks of embedding autonomous AI deep into critical infrastructure. The blueprint calls this oversight layer the AI Trust Stack, a mandatory set of security systems required for public deployment. Looking at the Trust Stack schematic, we see privacy-preserving logging. Every time AI issues an instruction, a cryptographic signature attaches. The stack isolates internal reasoning, filtering out sensitive user data. This creates a clear digital trail without pervasive surveillance. These logs are reviewed by a proposed regulatory body, the Center for AI Standards and Innovation, to rigorously audit frontier models before they are broadly deployed. Establishing cryptographic accountability at the hardware level is a prerequisite before AI can be trusted with economic or civic authority. The document addresses extreme scenarios, modeling cases where AI systems exhibit hidden loyalties, autonomously self-replicate,
or have their neural weights leafed to bad actors. For dangerous systems that cannot be easily recalled or shut down, global governments will need to instantly trigger model containment playbooks. Executing these playbooks in real-world environments demands cross-border, military-grade coordination to isolate dangerous capabilities, halt unauthorized replication, and mitigate large-scale cyber threats. The blueprint's containment strategy requires moving beyond the software layer to target the institutions building the models. The blueprint mandates that frontier AI labs adopt specific corporate government structures, legally operating as public benefit corporations, bound by mission-aligned charters. These labs face strict internal audits to harden their infrastructure against internal capture, ensuring no individual can quietly use the system to concentrate power. Preventing a catastrophic loss of control will require aggressive regulation, targeting both the digital models and the human corporations building them. Zooming out from the technical schematics, the document anchors these proposals in a broader historical context. The current acceleration of artificial intelligence mirrors the massive disruptions of the transition into the industrial age, a period where technological progress required sweeping political choices to protect the workforce. In response to mass production and the combustion engine, the Progressive Era and the New Deal were implemented to modernize the American social contract, introducing labor protections and social safety nets. History proves that democratic societies can successfully mediate between capital and labor during technological upheaval, provided they rewrite the economic rules. This blueprint reveals a stark geopolitical paradox. An $852 billion technology company is actively publishing the exact instructions on how governments should tax, regulate, and redistribute its own wealth. The challenge is timing. The hyper-accelerated timeline of AI model scaling is now running directly up against the notoriously slow gears of the legislative process. The explicit warning in OpenAI's document is that the institutions, laws, and infrastructure required to safely navigate superintelligence do not yet exist. If the architects building the intelligence are publicly demanding to be contained and taxed, the window for society to build that macroeconomic container is closing.